So Whole Cake Island is continuing to wrap up. The latest chapter of One Piece, I didn't get a chance to talk about it, so in this one I'm going to be talking about that, but also mainly talking about the broad prospects of how the One Piece Whole Cake Island arc is going to be ending and wrapping up, because again, I'd imagine no more than a few more months, we will be entering the Reverie arc, and all of this will be all over. So for starters, in the latest chapter of One Piece, once again, a huge revelation that Katakuri mentions, and that was towards the end of the chapter. He says one big thing, that Luffy is slowly learning his hockey ability, the foresight, being able to essentially see a little bit into the future, and that if he doesn't wrap this up soon, that it's going to be all over. He's starting to realize he can't make any more mistakes, and he probably should have put Luffy down a long time ago. And to be honest with you, he wasn't really holding back. He was actually trying. He wasn't one of those typical villains that was just like, you know, it'll be fine, and then Luffy, you know, turned the tables on him. He's been pretty much kicking Luffy's ass. In fact, I don't know if I'll title this, but I was going to title this video that this is definitely, if not top 5, then top 3 most brutal fights I believe Luffy has ever been in. Now, Luffy's been in some amazing battles that he's gotten his ass kicked in, you know what I'm saying? In Marineford, it was a mess. Against Rob Lucci, it was a mess. All the shit that happened where he had to give his pain, or Zoro took his pain, he was a mess. But this is up there. This is definitely up there, because almost every chapter that we've seen Luffy versus Katakuri, Katakuri throwing hands on him, Luffy is just bleeding everywhere, getting absolutely obliterated. Like, he has taken one of the biggest ass whippings of his life. This has not even been a fair fight. Like the Luffy versus Lucci fight, it was somewhat fair. Luffy was getting it in, and it wasn't like he had this big hurdle to overcome. With Katakuri, it's been like he has this gigantic hurdle to overcome. He is not ready. He's slowly progressing. This is almost like a big training for Luffy in a way. It's crazy. So looking at it in that regard, it's like, yeah, this is up there, because the Lucci versus Luffy fight, like, it was a good fight, but it was even at least. You know what I'm saying? It was a brutal fight. It was even. This is brutal and very uneven. But what Katakuri said yet again makes me start to think, okay, how is Luffy versus Katakuri really going to end at this point? We see that he's slowly learning and observing the hockey abilities. Well, there's a lot of things that Luffy has to do in order to take him out. I think one of the big things, which hasn't been mentioned in a while, and I think that Oda is possibly steering away from it, is the whole insult thing, where he kind of could throw him off guard by talking mad shit to Katakuri about his family, because it would anger him and throw him off balance. If Luffy still pulls that out the hat, I don't know if that's still going to be a relevant plot card, or Oda was trying it and didn't like it, felt it was too cheesy, and he's like throwing that idea away or whatever. But that could have been one huge thing of how Luffy would finish off this fight with Katakuri and move on forward. Also, you got to think as well in the long run, which we'll talk about in a second, the impact that this fight is going to have on Luffy's wanted, you know, his bounty and everything about them. Because if Luffy and his people manage to take out the Big Mom pirates, do you understand how much more notoriety that's going to give him, how much more popularity? Like, it's going to be ridiculous. So definitely this is going to be a very heavy impact on Luffy. Now obviously Luffy's going to win against Katakuri. He has plot protection, right? So how is it all going to go down? Again, Katakuri, one of his big things is he said something about Luffy is learning this. Well, what if he learns to use that in combination with his own abilities? Or again, there's the whole awakening theory. So in one way or another, Luffy could use the fact that he has been observing this hockey, this foresight that Katakuri has. He could actually use that in combination with his own abilities, and again, potentially use that old card of, hey, Katakuri doesn't really like hearing bad things about his family. So there's many obstacles that Luffy has to overcome, but definitely some of those options are how he could take out Katakuri. But in defeating Katakuri, you gotta ask yourself, then what? Because in the latest chapter as well, Oven has set it up. He told all the people, threatened them, you know, your family's gonna get executed and everything if you guys don't all smash your mirrors. There's only going to be one mirror on this island right here. There's 2 ways that could go as well. It could be that Luffy just bursts out of there like a cannon, which, what are you going to do at that point, right? So, you know, they're not going to be able to do much if Luffy just comes flying out of that mirror like a psychopath, especially if he has Katakuri in his hands. They're going to be like, oh my god, he's using him as a hostage. So they're not going to be able to do much to Luffy in that regard if he comes bursting out of there. And then again, if he comes out slowly with Katakuri, then, you know, it'll be fucked too. Or it could be that there's somebody somewhere there that has one extra piece of glass that could allow Luffy to evade and not come out of that big entrance as well. But it's One Piece and it's Luffy, and if I know anything about One Piece and Luffy, Luffy. More than likely, again, Luffy's flying out of that mirror, and Oven's gonna just be baffled and probably get fucked up in the process of Luffy coming out of there. Maybe it'll be so big, there'll be like one mirror there, and Luffy will punch Katakuri so hard, they'll come flying out of the mirror, knocking Oven out or some crazy shit too. It seems a little cartoony, but I think it could work in a sense of like the big challenge, the thing that we need to take serious is Luffy versus Katakuri. Do we really need to take Oven in his mirror serious? I mean, yeah, he's threatening to execute people, and of course that's a huge deal, whatever, but in a sense of like, Oven is probably not on Katakuri's level, and if Luffy has been evolving at this point, I'm imagining Oven wouldn't be that much against Luffy, especially if he's coming flying out like that. Oven will probably get his ass whipped too if Sanji doesn't kick his ass beforehand, because it could also lead to either somebody there challenging Oven and saying, yo, I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't move out of that mirror's way. So there's also options there as far as how to handle Oven and the future of that. But as far as Luffy versus Katakuri, again, now that this fight has gone on so long, this is going to be nothing but an incredible thing for the future, because in bigger fights, in better fights, when Luffy goes up against the Blackbeard pirates, everything that he learned from Katakuri, he can use that against them, and he'll be fresh. Like, now, if Luffy went and took a rest and was 100% fresh, everything that he's already learned from Katakuri, fighting Katakuri, he'd probably give him a better run than now that he's again taken one of the worst ass beatings of his entire life. Then of course other aspects of the chapter, the parts that again, honestly, Sanji's role in the manga for the past, since however many months that he went to start the cake up for Big Mom, his role hasn't been all that. I do expect at least one big fight before all this is all over for Sanji, whether it's against one of Big Mom's people, whether it's against Big Mom herself, everybody jumping her, whatever it is, Sanji does need to have one big fight. We never got that year of Sanji, and in fact, the year of Sanji was a bad year. His heart broken, lies, treachery, betrayal. Like, there was a lot of bad stuff that happened to Sanji. Give him a good fight, give him a good W. Of course, it can't be against a female because he won't fight back, but there's a lot of good aspects there. The pudding situation, I see it being like, because in my opinion, when you kind of look at it, Sanji is kind of like Brock. And if you remember anything, Brock from Pokemon, Misty always dragged him by his ear from bitches at the end of every arc. Sanji is probably going to be the same way with Pudding, and Pudding's going to be like, I'll wait for you forever. Ah, you stupid idiot. It'll be an ongoing joke, and we'll probably see Pudding later on down the road. So it's not like Sanji's leaving the crew, and that's one of the things that I'm kind of interested in, of all the subplots, how much of it is going to actually carry on. We know the main plot is going to carry on. Of course, you know, whatever happens between Luffy and Big Mom, if Luffy is said to be the winner, that's going to carry on majorly in the new world for the Straw Hats. But is Pudding's romance with Sanji going to carry on? Is that still going to be a thing 5 years after this arc is over? Like, what's that going to be like? So you got to ask that. You got to ask about Big Mom's other people, Smoothie. Like, I want to see more of these people fight. I'm honestly really hoping that we get more fights before this is all over. Like, we've seen Nami. I mean, granted, she was using tricks and everything, but she was able to do a couple things against Big Mom. I would like to see Nami fight against Smoothie, maybe with some backup or something, or maybe two against Smoothie, something like that. But I want to see Smoothie in action before this is all over. She looks like a badass. Also, you gotta ask, what's gonna happen to Perospero? If I'm not mistaken, his name is, I always get his name wrong, but I believe it's Perospero, Big Mom's son. Is he going to die once Mama finds out that he lied about the cake this whole time? Will it calm her down? I think the cake has been so built up at this point that it's possibly gonna be one of the biggest, most disappointing things of this whole arc, because okay, they can play it off in the comedic aspect of Big Mom eats it and it knocks her fat ass out, and she doesn't wake up until the Straw Hats are gone, and she's like, what the hell happened? I don't remember anything. It could lead to she eventually eats her people. There's so many aspects of what could happen if this cake even goes wrong, because at this point, which by the way, if anybody ruins that cake, if Luffy fucks up that cake again, if something happens to that cake at this point, I'm going to be very upset, because that is going to be, what, 20-30 wasted chapters of Sanji going with Pudding to make this cake. That cake better go in Big Mom's mouth, okay? And it better do something good. Now with Capone and them, I think at this point you could trust that they're going to deliver the cake to the best of their ability. They're not going to poison it, because they did that whole setup of Capone ate the cake and it knocked him on his ass, and you know, the whole joke and gag shit or whatever. So they're not going to do it in that regard, but it's really interesting what's going to happen after Big Mom gets the cake. If she falls down, are they going to assassinate her there? Will her people allow it? I think it's going to happen. I think it's leading towards an aspect that none of us are really quite looking at, because Oda is not that obvious. He's not going to have it plain and simple. They give Big Mama the cake, she eats it, falls out, Capone shoots her in the head, off we go. It's not going to happen that way. So Oda's definitely building up something great in that regard. But I mean, as far as like the whole Big Mom, you know, pirate crew, if Big Mom falls, how much of them are going to continue? I mean, we know that Marco and them kept going even after Whitebeard was killed or whatever at Marineford, so they could continue on, and also they're going to continue fighting for their lives regardless. But it's going to be interesting interesting to see if Big Mom falls before all of this, now that the cake is damn near close to her. How is it all going to play out with her crew? The fate of the Straw Hats, I think they've had one hell of a fight, but it would be interesting to see, even if it's Nami and Chopper versus Smoothie or something. I want to see a couple more fights before this wraps up. And again, Luffy versus Big Mom at this point, is it going to happen? Well, he's taken a hell of a beating from Katakuri. I don't see him being able to do anything against Big Mom until he's well rested. And even then, it's like, okay, he's advanced, but can Katakuri take out Big Mom? If Katakuri can't take out Big Mom and Luffy can't take out Katakuri, then Luffy can't take out Big Mom, period. But I'm kind of curious what you guys think about all this. First of all, how is the Luffy versus Katakuri fight going to play out? How is it going to end? Is it going to be Luffy going back to using words? Is it going to be that Luffy is going to surprise him and be able to master that haki? How big is this whole haki situation going to play out in future fights now that he's learned a bit more of Katakuri's technique? He could actually take it even further. If he's learning it this fast in a fight for his life, then who knows what Luffy could do if he really put his mind to it and trained some more with this new haki that he's obtaining based off learning it from Katakuri. And what do you think is going to happen with Big Mom? How big is Luffy's bounty going to be after this encounter with the Big Mom Pirates? And your overall expectations for the finale of One Piece Whole Cake Island arc. But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.